Okay, today I'm working on a Pac Bay butt. There's a problem in that key in there is loose, and you can see it's sort of crooked right now. I can see it's off by about 20 degrees. So what I'm going to try to do is use some of that Loctite, that wicks Loctite 290, and see if I can get it in there and lock that in place. First I'll rotate it back, I'll put it back together and rotate it and try some of the Loctite. And this is the Loctite, it's 290 and it's a wicking formula, and apparently it can be used on bolts that are already assembled. So this seems like a perfect potential solution to this problem. Okay, I put a reel on there, and now you can kind of see that it's out of line by 15 degrees or so. Okay, what I want to do here is I want to see how much torque it takes to rotate this thing, and I'll test it now and then test it after I finish the repair. So what I'm going to do is take my spring scale and measure how much force it takes to rotate it, and then I'll like I said, I'll test it after it's completed. Maybe add some extra torque and make sure it doesn't move. Alright, so this is about a 6-inch lever arm. So from your freshman physics, you remember that torque equals force times the lever arm. So let's see what happens here. It's about a 6-inch lever. Just rotate it. 24 pounds. Alright, now I actually don't even need the wrench to rotate it. I know I can do it by hand. So I'll just line it up with the reel. Looks pretty good. Alright, I'm going to heat this up a little bit with my heat gun to expand it relative to the plug inside and to help the Loctite flow a little bit. All right. Just gotta let this soak for a little while, then I'll soak out the excess with Q-tips or something. I think I'll give it a few raps with a hammer too. That might help it go down a little bit. Okay, I got a little aluminum cylinder here. I'm just going to give it some raps just to help the stuff flow down a little bit, hopefully. Just lightly tapping this. Now I'll just absorb the excess that didn't seep in. Yep, most of it came out. That should do it. You can see it's nice and lined up with the curved part. So I think that'll be good to go. I'll let it dry overnight and then test it. Okay, I've got my repaired butt here where I put Loctite green down inside there, and it's been drying for about 2 weeks, and I'm going to test it now. Alright, I'm going to test this thing the same way as before. It took about, I looked at it after about 5 days, and I wasn't convinced that it was dry even after 5 days, so I let it sit for over 2 weeks. So it should be dry now, so I'm just going to make this snug and get my clamp and my scale out to try to put some torque on it and see if it rotates. Okay, last time with the scale at about 24 pounds, I was able to rotate it. So I'm going to put a mark on it, and then I'm going to the scale goes up, it only goes up to 30 pounds, so I'll go up to 30 pounds, maybe pull it a little bit extra, and then see if it moved. Got this clamp here, and if it doesn't move, I'll call it fixed for now. At least I know I could use it as a backup if I don't flat out replace it. All right, moving. All right, I went to the end and a little bit. Went to the end and a little extra. And it didn't move. The mark, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, the mark didn't move. So I'm going to call this fixed. At least for a backup. And maybe as a main one. We'll see.